This Veterans Day is special for the soldiers, sailors, Marines, and airmen who served during the Vietnam War.
2023 marks 50 years since the last U.S. serviceman was pulled out of the conflict. For decades, the public's negative perception of the Vietnam War took a toll on veterans' health and welfare. But now the Vietnam Wall is the most visited memorial in our nation's capital.
As Fox 13's Frankie Thompson reports, a growing number of exhibits are giving Vietnam veterans a chance to reconnect with their service like never before.
With every aircraft and artifact at the Museum of Flight, there's a story.
And this is the bird. I was on this bird for 125 air assaults.
This is an A6E, which is the latest version of the A6. I was fortunate to fly the A6A, which was the very first model of this.
The storytellers sharing their personal connections to these pieces of history.
A helicopter saved my life. I want them to know. I want them to be able to see these airplanes and talk to these pilots and these veterans. You can have a lot of wonderful icons and exhibits, but they're really nothing without the stories. They're just a chunk of metal or a piece of plastic. But with the stories, that makes it history. That makes it living history.
The history makers now bringing life to the museum as docents.
Four docents, not just one.
One of the greatest pleasures here is to see families come in, particularly I want to say the kids that come in with wide eyes looking at all there is to see in the museum. And they're just so excited to learn.
And you know that all of us, that guy and this guy and this guy, we all served in a war.
David Wagner, Kenneth McNair, David Cable, and Tom Davidson served in the Vietnam War.
I always say that I was proud to have served. I was proud to have had the opportunity to associate with people who were putting their lives on the line every single day.
More than 58,000 U.S. servicemen and women lost their lives during the Vietnam War.
You know, a lot of friends who served, of course, and some who are no longer with us. And, yeah, I think of them.
I felt a sense that everything was really unraveling, that it was not something that was going to be resolved.
The divisive conflict lasted a decade, but forever changed how Americans viewed war and the people who sacrificed their lives fighting in it.
Back in those days, we Vietnam veterans came home to not such a pleasant welcome. They were cursed, they were spit upon, and they really were not welcome home at that time.
To give the welcome they deserved, the Vietnam Veterans Memorial Park was established at the museum.
Here's Kelly's plaque, and I, of course, put him next to me.
Dedicated in May 2019, it honors those who have passed and those still here. Cable contributed to its creation.
And that's kind of my mission here, is to be sure that we don't forget about the sacrifices that were made by all those that are represented here.
It's here where these veterans feel welcome, reliving their story and telling history through every artifact and aircraft.
I was fortunate. I got to fly in and out of the war zone a lot and came out unscathed. That's not true for everybody who did that. But it was a good experience, and given an opportunity, I'd do it again.
If you asked me to do it again, I'd go. A little too old. What do you think, Dave? A little too old. But I'd go again. If I could do it for another 26 years, I'd do it in a heartbeat, because it was the toughest and best experience of my life.
Frankie Thompson.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Fox 13 News.
Fox Corporation is once again making Camel our cause to honor our men and women in uniform and help spread awareness of the U.S. Vet's mission to support veterans experiencing homelessness. You can make a donation through the special section on the Fox 13 Seattle homepage, and Fox will double match eligible donations for the month of November.